Hey, it's Mark Watchman. MTC Media is still here at EcoBank Center after George Mason's exciting 81-77 overtime win over Hofstra. The Pride came in hot. They had some good wins this season. This is probably a better win for George Mason than a lot of people who aren't familiar with Hofstra, is. And Kim English was definitely happy with this win afterward, called it a team effort. I asked him about Aaron Estrada. We all knew that was the guy that Hofstra will be running things through. Estrada ended with 31 points on 10 for 18 shooting. He was 4 for 7 from 3 and 7 for 9 from the free throw line. But George Mason gave him very low. Sometimes they doubled the ball out of his hands. Yes, Estrada did get to the free throw line at the end with a chance to put Hofstra up by 1 with a little bit over 3 seconds left. He ended up missing the free throw. It went to overtime. But for George Mason in overtime and down the stretch, it was a Devin Cooper show. And believe it or not, a lot of it was from the free throw line. His ability to make the free throws down the stretch. He also had another big basket there. Oduro kind of looked like the Oduro from last year with the 21 points and 11 rebounds. But as Coach English spoke about after the game, when you talk about a team effort, this was a team effort win. George Mason played 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 guys, and all 11 guys contributed in some sort of type of way, in different type of ways. I thought that Devin Dinkins, when he was asked to come in the second half, definitely did some good things after Polite fouled out there. Also, Jones came in near the end. So there was guys who came in this game where George Mason had some foul trouble and continued to contribute for them. If you sort of look at it, Mason still had times where offensively they just look disjointed. The ball kind of sticks. It doesn't look like they're playing with any sort of cohesion. Then they overcame it tonight against a great opponent. But going forward, those stretches where it just doesn't seem like they're connected probably needs to lessen, if not go away in some type of way. As for Hofstra, again, they've played a good schedule. They've had some good wins. But this one was on their fingertips, and I'm sure Coach Speedy Claxton's like, we had a chance to get another win against an Atlantic 10 opponent and let it slip through their hands. But again, for George Mason, who had struggled before they win over Queens, had lost 3 straight. So there's 2 straight at home. They still have 2 more, I believe, in this little 4-game home stretch as we get closer and closer to the Atlantic 10. But what I thought was interesting out of English tonight was talking about the makeup of the roster, and he talked about how they can play different styles. They can go 5 out, but he's liking playing 2 big, so they go 5 out part of a game, and maybe it's 4 out 1 in. And then he even goes 3 out 2 in at times of the games, and that's going to be interesting to watch going forward. Is what is this team as they get into the Atlantic 10 season? Does he keep varying what sort of looks he's giving? Is it opponent by opponent, which is what I would suspect, and does it hamper some of the guys to get in some sort of rhythm? It's great to have competition for minutes and say that, this could be the game where you step up, but, as time goes on, there needs to be some sort of cohesion between you, your teammates, what your roles are, and so on and so forth. So how English manages the depth that he has, and he does have good depth, is something to keep an eye on going forward as we get closer to that conference season. Again, here at EcoBank, Hofstra, George Mason going to overtime, and the Patriots get an 81-77 victory. It's Marcus Washington with MTC Media.